Hello horror fans and welcome to another episode of Silver Screams. We don't have an episode.
Terrible news, everyone!
Terrible folks!
News.
The worst tragedy of our time! But we did think it was relevant news to talk about, at least in a timely fashion.
And to our interests and to this channel.
Mostly to our interests, yes. Go ahead. You looked like you were about to say it, go ahead.
So MTV is dumb. I
mean, we knew that, but this is a special level of dumb, or at least upsetting, as far as we're concerned.
The ratings of Scream season 1 were okay. The ratings of season 2 were half of season 1, or potentially less than half. The numbers were not good. So instead of taking season 3's 6 episodes and giving us a conclusion to this better than it had any right to be, actually very engrossing story that they have led us along for the past 2 seasons and a movie, they're doing a soft reset. They're recasting everyone and doing a brand new story in a brand new setting with brand new people. 'Cause reasons. That's a real good way to keep your fan base on board.
Has that ever worked?
No.
It's just in the history of television.
If it has worked at all, it's either been built into the premise, I give you Doctor Who, or it has been the exception that proves the rule. Like Doctor Who is the only one I can think of that flips over its cast with a lot of regularity, but because they built it into the show, it works.
They're doing a soft reboot within the show. That means they have 6 episodes to not only make us forget about how
the people we actually give a shit
about the people we've grown to care about and the mysteries we've been engrossed in and those storylines, that they only have 6 episodes to make us forget about those, or at least to not care about them to the degree that we do, in favor of new people and new killer motivations. How is 6 episodes enough time to get invested in these characters and to be sad when they are gone?
I mean, you can do it in a movie, and that might be what they're going for. Like, if we can do it in 90 minutes, we can do it in 6 episodes. We can do it in what essentially boils down to 5 hours.
The only way I can see it is it being like just a completely separate miniseries. But the only time reboots have worked is, as Katie mentioned, in terms of like television reboots, the only time they work are when they're built into the premise, or years have gone by. Battlestar Galactica is one of the most well-regarded television reboots ever, and television series ever, but guess what, guys? They weren't 2.5 seasons into the original Battlestar Galactica when they decided to go, hey, let's just change everything.
Well, and Star Trek did it with regularity, but those were also considered separate seasons with many episodes
Star Trek, like, they scrapped their pilot episode and only kept Spock. I mean, and that makes sense in the context of a pilot, but in the context of a series that is already 2 seasons and a made-for-TV movie in.
But I mean, the difference between Star Trek, Next Generations, Deep Space Nine, etc.
Again, and those are all, like, decades apart from, or at least years apart from one another. It makes no sense to try to bring in a new audience and to try to keep that audience in 6 seasons, or 6 episodes. The only way you do that is you go the American Horror Story route, which is the route we wanted,
series.
Which is the route we wanted Scream Queens to take, was just 1 season and you're done. And it was something that we were actually really pushing for Scream at the start of the series. Once we got to the end of season 1, we were like, I don't know if we can go for another season. We were wrong! And
I like, okay, they wrapped everything up, life was good. They didn't wrap everything up. Oh my.
I am fully capable of admitting when I was wrong. I was wrong when we started talking about this series, and I was wrong when we said, I don't know if they can make it work for another season.
Well,
we were
wrong.
wrong.
TV adaptation of a horror franchise on MTV. It had everything working against it.
It did, but it's great. The cast is great. The performances are great. The writing is really good, and it's a wonderful AU of Scream, and I never thought I'd say that, because I love that franchise to a ridiculous degree.
I mean, Ghostface is your favorite horror movie villain. Yes.
One of them. It's like, I will be honest, it fluctuates. Freddy, Ghostface, I go through phases. But yeah, I would say a decent 70% of the time, Ghostface beats out Freddy, and I tend to bring up Scream more than in casual conversation more than I do in Nightmare on Elm Street. And I say that, again, as somebody who loves A Nightmare on Elm Street. And the funny thing is that Nightmare on Elm Street had its own series, and every episode was an anthology. It was a completely new thing every single time. This shouldn't have worked, and it did, and now they're breaking it.
But the ratings didn't work, and I think that's the problem. Like, we've already got a next season, but we don't think that the story and the characters we have will pull in people. And I wonder what the season drop-off is between seasons 1 and 2 of a show. I wonder what goes into that in general, and how big the drop-off usually is.
Or at least what the average is for an MTV show.
Yeah.
I mean,
they can't all be Teen Wolf.
There are certain shows where, and I'll use Turn as an example.
The cat just jumped like 3 feet in the air.
I'll use Turn as an example again because I love Turn, and it's a series I'm definitely invested in.
It's good. You should watch it.
Very good.
With the subtitles on.
Definitely do that. But it's a show that doesn't pull in a ton of ratings, but the network believed in it. And yeah, it never pulled in the amount that AMC wanted it to. But at least for its final season, which is coming up this June, for its final season, it is getting a wrap-up season, which is, again, more than other networks would give their shows the time of day for not meeting expectations, I suppose.
But I also think AMC can pull in a lot of money for stuff like The Walking Dead and Fear the Walking Dead, and isn't the Badlands AMC? I legitimately don't remember.
I think so.
I know they have another really big one that comes on in between Dead and Fear Dead. And they can probably justify, like, okay, we have our anchors.
Yeah.
Let's play with the rest of our lineup.
And again,
not every network can do that.
But they believe in their shows, and something MTV, at least in my experience, in terms of the scripted shows that I've actually liked in the past, sometimes they believe in them and sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're like, okay, you get a season, oh, you didn't really do much for us, bye.
And MTV, they basically were keeping the Screen name, and they gutted everything else.
And that was years ago. It's been that way for a long time now, and it's
I mean just for this revamp. They
I thought you meant the network as a whole.
Oh no, the network as a whole stopped being music television a decade or change ago.
It was more than a decade ago.
But they're keeping some of the creative staff, but they're bringing on a lot more people, and then they're just gutting the cast.
Which having met a few members of the cast at Comic-Con, and then for other after shows that we do on AfterBuzz, that is garbage.
It's a good show.
It's a good show. Again, great cast, great writing, better than it had any right to be. And there's no way that bringing in an entirely new cast is going to get the results that they want, at least in my opinion. So
especially since we have that big, huge, gaping, loose end open, and you gave us a TV movie in October. It was glorious.
If you want to
give us a TV movie to wrap up what's going on with this before we go into this next season, I am more willing to give this next season a try if I get a conclusion to the story that we've been following for 24 hours of, not 24, what did we have, 13 and 10?
Something like that, yeah.
And then the movie, 25 hours of our lives.
Well, and even more, considering that we talk about it for at least an hour on
50 hours of our lives.
Wow, that's a lot of hours.
That's a lot of hours.
But here's the thing, is
a little more than 2 days.
I was more than willing to do that because I loved the show, and I love Scream as a whole. And here's the thing, we should probably clear it up now. We're gonna keep watching, and we're gonna keep doing these videos, but we're not gonna be happy about it, guys.
We'll see how it goes.
No,
I'm willing
I
to
fully
keep an open mind. That doesn't stop me from being real freaking mad about, the story that you really liked. Bye.
And especially, again, because you get so little time. It means that not only are we not going to get a conclusion here, but I feel like 6 episodes, they're going to try to do a cliffhanger ending. Because the whole point of doing this is trying to bring in new viewership to keep the show going. And here's the thing, if it's not doing well, guys, just call it. Just wrap up this season and then try again in a couple years. Reboot it again. It's fine. I will accept that.
But you're switching horses in the middle of a stream, and that's just gonna get you dunked.
Yeah. Oregon Trail taught me that if you try to do shenanigans while crossing the stream, you're gonna tip over and die. I mean, you'll probably eventually die of dysentery anyway, but you will drown first before you have a chance.
Can we, like, get a movie kickstarted? Or just a made-for-TV movie? Can we get 65, 75, 85 minutes of wrapping up this one last big thing? Who told you you could wear my mask? Like, can we...
Come on!
Can we wrap that up? Because that's still a huge piece on the board. And the Halloween movie, while it was a shit ton of fun, did almost nothing to resolve it. In fact, it exacerbated it.
Yeah, spoiler alert, they killed off Kieran, and then at the very end, they brought in somebody claiming to be a Mr. James. And we don't know if that's Brandon or if it's brother, or if it's somebody else entirely just using the name. And season 2, again, as good as it was and as much as it kept us guessing, did nothing to tie up the loose end of
Brandon
James, which has been in the background of both seasons and has been one of the most intriguing,
the backbone of the
not
season.
the most intriguing mystery within the show, second only to who's actually doing the murders right now. Which, again, kudos to the show. It kept me guessing, and I was wrong both seasons.
Oh, yeah.
Both seasons I was
idea.
completely wrong.
So the difference is, for Scream movies, like, there's very, very little way that you can actually guess who the killer is before the final act. Like, very rarely do you know who it is before the unmasking. And I feel like Scream 1 and 4 set up, okay, well, we can kind of take a guess better than Screams 2 and 3, because Screams 2 and 3 was, and who are you? But 1 and 4, we kind of had a little build-up.
You're adorable. Mrs. Loomis? Even though we've never mentioned you in this entire movie? Sorry, spoilers.
It was Old Lady Loomis. Who?
It was Old Lady Loomis all along. And I would have gotten away with it too if it hadn't been for you meddling college students.
And your sheriff.
And that sheriff. Yeah, he was still a deputy, yeah.
So there's... The movies, it was very difficult to guess who it would have been, because there was more... Some movies had more setup than others. There we go. That's the take we're going to use. And some were right the fuck out of the blue. The series had a lot of time to set it up, and we definitely had the time to go, could it be this person? Could it not be this person? Well, this looks like this because it was presented in this way, but what if it's actually this? Like, we actually had time to sit down and think about things, and we had an honest-to-God mystery on our hands. It wasn't just a thriller, it was a mystery. And it's still a continuing mystery, and now someone's torn the last chapters out of the book, and we don't get it.
We don't. And instead, they insert a completely separate short story. Could you imagine, like...
It's an anthology now! No, it's not.
Could you imagine reading a book, like, in the Star Wars, like, extended universe? Like, you're reading the first Thrawn novel, and then the last few chapters gets ripped out, and somebody instead... rips out the first few chapters of the new Thrawn novel, which is now canon, essentially the reboot, and sticks it in there instead.
Quit ripping up books!
Quit ripping up books, and don't give us the start to a new storyline without concluding. Okay,
They might self-contain it.
I feel like
we're going in space.
If you're going to self-contain it, then in order to have a perfect 3-act structure, you're going to have 2 episodes as Act 1, 2 episodes as Act 2, and the final 2 episodes as Act 3. It can be done. It absolutely can be a compelling murder mystery miniseries in 6 episodes. And, I mean, The Walking Dead Season 1 was 6 episodes. Blew me away. Amazing. I don't think that the people behind this decision really understand the ramifications of what they're doing.
Or they think that it'll be fine.
Or they think that
it's better than what we have, right? No.
They think that if this doesn't work to bring in a new audience, then nothing would have. Which I get needing to axe a show because of ratings. I absolutely get that. I'm not going to say I have a big role in the industry, but I work in the industry. I went to school for it. I understand.
We live in industry town.
We
give
live
a
in
pretty
industry.
good sense of how it works.
We live in industry town. But, like, again, if this is the way you're going to go about it, I point to Scrubs and I say,
why?
it's not that it can't work, it's just that it probably won't.
Because we all know that we're getting something that is a desperate attempt to be as good as the original.
The first rule of reboots, kid, don't fuck with the original. I'm just saying.
There is a difference between a reboot and an AU, and we are working with an AU here.
We are working with an AU.
For those of you who don't speak fanfiction shorthand, I suppose alternate universe.
Alternate universe, which is great. So I feel like we need to wrap it up. In summation, this is...
Damn it, why?
This is frustrating news. I'm not going to completely... And that's the other thing. Whoever they hire on for the new cast, I feel bad for them.
Oh, yeah.
I feel bad for them, and I'm not going to hold it against them.
It's not their fault.
I am going to hold it against the people, the powers that be who made this decision. And I wish nothing but the best for the previous cast and crew, because they were all incredible. We will continue to watch Scream. It's only 6 more hours of our life.
12.
God damn it. We will continue to watch it and cover it.
Accuracy.
But separating this upcoming season from what came before it will prove probably too difficult. And I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to be
able
I'm
to
not going to
compare.
be objective.
There's no way we're not going to be able to compare. We will give it the old college try, but it's very, very difficult to be like, here's all the people you love. There's no resolution for them.
I do feel like this will be a nice kind of full circle moment, though, because I feel like after that first episode, we're going to sit here with alcoholic drinks, just like we did for our very first Silver Screams, and go, this is stupid, and this isn't the Scream I know and love. So that will be kind of a nice full circle moment. Outside of that, I wish the best of luck to the upcoming cast and crew.
You're gonna need it.
You're gonna need it. You're just, oh, you sweet summer child.
Oh, friends.
Katie, where can people go if they want to find you?
You can find me all over the social medias and on YouTube at Kiaxet. That is Kiaxet. If you like us reacting to and talking about things that are not horror related, that's the YouTube channel it lives on.
And I'm Megan. You guys can follow me on Twitter and Instagram at themenguin. That's TheMenguin. Be sure to follow Silver Screams at silver_screams. Like us on Facebook. All that jazz. We want to hear from you guys. What do you guys think of the news? Are you just as disappointed as we are? We're pretty disappointed.
That's what we want to hear. I don't have anything different.
Yeah.
Just do it.
A toast to the old cast and crew. And again, best of luck, new guys. You're gonna need it.
May nobody ever ask you over the phone what your favorite scary movie is.
Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you all next time. Oh, shit.